Hi, my name's Tom Yakupin, and this is the Tom Yakupin Podcast. And today we're featuring two young men from RIP Security who want to share a community event that's going to be going on in Washington County at the Washington County Airport. And I'm not going to steal Mike or Caleb's thunder. We have Mike Gulley from RIP Security, and Caleb Kolb. Does he work with you, Mike, at RIP as well, or is he doing something different?
No, he's actually a co-host for the Breakfast with Santa.
He's a co-host with
Brett.
Okay.
Yes, he's the executive director of Adventures in Training with a Purpose. And we met a couple months ago, and we just hit it off. And, I have a nonprofit with my wife, G Squared. RIP is they're a main sponsor for the event. And we just work together. We do collaborations to bring the people together. We want to benefit, society as a whole, and what better way to do that with the youth?
Absolutely.
Provide them a positive outlook on life and give them the things that, some people are neglecting, and just be that helping hand that a lot of people need.
No, we're going to dig into that. Let me just give some background. I think I met you at the Wild Things Stadium. You were working with RIP Security at an event there. I think it was a Republican, a Trump rally, and excellent guy. I think I met you yet again in Monongahela at another Trump rally down there. So RIP Security, big shout out to a fine company for people that are interested in hiring professionals to make sure, folks are safe. Mike, excellent guy. Mike, I recall we chatted, but do you have military background? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up at? How did you get involved in the security business? And then I'll grill Caleb equally, and I want to hear from him as well. I just want people to know a little bit about yourself. Then we're going to talk about the event. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, I grew up in Uniontown, and I started off. My first job was a lifeguard at 15 years old, and then got into the coal mine. So I've been a coal miner for the past 12 years. And I started a nonprofit about probably 4 years ago. And through the nonprofit, I met the owner, CEO of RIP USA, through one of our events. And he's a very like-minded individual. He loved my outlook on life and how I wanted to, essentially change the world, make it a better place through these events, bringing the community together, making veterans and civilians on more of bringing it together. Because
you don't have military background. Did you serve in the military? No. Well, where did your passion come from for our veterans? And I'm just curious.
Both of my parents served in the Air Force. All of my close friends were in the military. And the nonprofit actually came from, it was a kickball tournament that we were doing for charity. It was for Make-A-Wish Foundation. Make-A-Wish Foundation canceled it. And we already had all these people interested in it. And, I was like, let's do it. Let's just throw a charity event together. And, we're going to put it to It's About the Warrior Foundation. And so
the Wounded Warriors, right?
No, It's About the Warrior Foundation.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's Steve Marlin. Yes. So that was our first charity event, was for It's About the Warrior. And going out and hitting the streets and seeing how much of a need there was, like how many, like the homeless veteran population, that shouldn't happen. Like, you shouldn't have homeless vets. I mean, you shouldn't have any homeless people whatsoever, but to serve your country and then come home and then really not have anything to come back to, that really hit home. And then seeing like people suffering from PTSD, and, these guys, the transitioning process is really hard for these guys. You have this structure, and in the military, you wake up, you know what you're doing, you have guidance, you know what you're doing, you have a purpose. And then whenever you come home, it's kind of like the internet. You have so many avenues and so many places to go, but do you know what you want to do? You don't have somebody telling you what to do. You don't have that structure. anymore. You don't have that camaraderie anymore. So what I wanted to create was events and, programs to where we can get all these people involved, civilians, veterans, and like-minded individuals, and, have fun making the world a better place. And
well,
so that was what, yeah. Yeah. So that was what kind of started like the relationship with Dustin, with RIP. A little background on Dustin. Dustin was an Army Scout sniper. And once he got out, he needed to find a purpose. He had a higher calling, but he didn't know what to do. So he has always wanted to help people, and he's a protector. So that's what started RIP Security.
Nice.
And like that, like, it's more so, it's not just a company, it's a family. It's an extended family. And that's like what the principles you teach, the core values. And like we're 50% veteran, 50% civilian, and there's about 71 employees. And with all of that, it's so nice to like have that training, and that structure for even like a civilian to come in, and somebody that doesn't have structure in their life. Now with the teaching process of the security world, you can have that. When we give them, you have an entry level position, but you can work your way up to, be an armed guard or, operator on an international level. And there's always room for growth. And if like a lot of people, they need that growth, they need inspiration, they need motivation. And if, they become stagnant, then it kills them. So you always need growth. And that's what the name, remembrance, innovation, progression. A lot of people, they see RIP and they think rest in peace, but really there's so much meaning behind that. Remembrance for, why are we here? You have to remember, our forefathers that built this country. I mean, they did everything for us. And a lot of it that's going on today, it's disturbing, but we can be the change. We can show them, this is how things are supposed to be, that remember why we are here. How much blood was shed, and just like, it gives me goosebumps. But and then the innovation part is that you can always be better. You can take something that is good and make it better. So like, just think like Tesla for instance, like all the amazing things he did, like the great innovators of our time, and we want to continue that and progression. You always have to progress. It's always onward. So it's a great company. Nice.
Well, I'm very impressed, man. And you seem like, I know this, in your regalia, your outfit, you look like a pretty badass dude, and clearly are. But what a cool, how refreshing it is, because I can feel your heart and I sense your compassion, and that's just fantastic. Caleb, we're going to put Caleb in the hot seat. Caleb, tell me a little bit about your background. Who are you? Where'd you come from? Why are we interviewing you today?
Yeah, so my name is Caleb Kolb. I'm the executive director of a nonprofit called Adventures in Training with a Purpose. We're a co-sponsor for Breakfast with Santa next month, and we started in 2015. Actually, my father John started in 2015, and we work with people with chronic disease, chronic illness, at-risk youth, and veterans. So Mike and I met at a veterans conference that my fiance was putting on, and we just became friends. And he came to me with this, hey, I want to do this event. We've been doing it the past couple of years, and I said, let me know how I can help. We want to be a part of it and support you. So that, I guess that's how I got involved with the event. But as far as our nonprofit, what we do is we work with people. Our core focus is people with any sort of chronic disease, chronic illness, PTSD, and veterans. And so we do physical rehabilitation for them. And then we also, where kind of this ties in with the kids in Breakfast with Santa, we have a youth program as well. So we have about 200 at-risk youth that we do after school programs for. And then we do a mentoring program similar to Big Brothers Big Sisters. So it all, when Mike started talking about this, my cylinders were firing. I'm like, I love it. Like, let me know I can help. And, I'm like Mike, I get excited easy. So it doesn't take a lot for me to get like super fired up. So I'm like, let me know how we can help. And I'm really excited for next month. I think it's going to be great.
So tell me again about your nonprofit. If people wanted to learn more about your nonprofit, again, sure. the name, do you have a website? How could other people get involved and help you guys do what you're doing?
Yeah, so the website is adventurestraining.org. Let me www.adventurestraining.org, and the website is Adventures in Training with a Purpose. And so we started in 2015, and we started in Hermitage, Pennsylvania, and we've grown from there. And so we have a location in Youngstown, in Youngstown at the downtown YMCA on Champion Street. That's an all veterans location. We have a location in Hermitage, off North Keel Ridge Road in Hermitage, PA, and that's generally a chronic disease and illness program. We work in 6 elementary, middle schools in Sharon and Farrell, PA, that's where our 200 kids are in our mentoring program. And then we have a location down here in Wexford, and that's kind of our headquarters. And so we see, a lot of chronic disease, chronic illness, and veterans down here in Wexford. Wow. And then kind of one other cool thing that we do is we do a lot of adventure trips. So we try and do every month, we'll do an adventure trip. So we'll do whitewater rafting trips. We'll do mountain biking trips. I actually I took one of our veterans and I did a trip a couple weeks ago. We did a 3-day bike ride from Pittsburgh to Cumberland, Maryland. So we do all sorts of things. So but Adventures in Training with the Purpose, adventurestraining.org. My email is caleb@adventurestraining.org. So I'd love to just people connect if they want to hear about us. That's
sure.
Awesome. I'd love to get.
And my producer's sitting here.
Our marketing budget is $0.
My producer's sitting here. He can't hear what you're saying, but of course he will hear this, and then we'll be no. Because it's in my headphones. I can hear you fine, but we're going to take and we'll search for that information, your website, and make it available on this podcast, so people will be able to see it and find you. Yeah, man, because I'd like, I had no clue really what we were going to talk about today, but I love what you guys are doing, man. I got to tell you, I love it. And I'm like you, I get excited about things, and I would like to say, perhaps there's an opportunity for my company to get involved and help you guys too. Are you looking for additional corporate sponsors? If there are other corporate sponsors out there, what are some roles that people in the field can play to help you gentlemen continue this necessary, I think very necessary and very compassionate way of changing and helping society? How can folks help you guys? What do you need?
Mike, you want to go?
Yeah. So for the events, that's definitely volunteers. We need as many people to help out as possible. And then, we're completely, we run off of donations. That's how we survive, is people's, good hearts. And, we're completely transparent. We don't pocket anything. Everything goes towards the cause. So we have done backpacks for the homeless. So if we run those programs, like corporate sponsorships, go into the workplace and ask people to donate, backpacks full of toiletries. We have clothing size, if you want to donate jackets. It's just the community involvement is huge, and also bringing awareness to what these guys go through. A lot of people think PTSD is somewhat of a joke, or it doesn't really, it's not a real thing. But a lot of people they battle daily. Oh yeah, and that's what we want to bring, the awareness. And the best thing that I've seen is what Caleb and these guys are doing is getting these guys out and getting physical, giving them a regimen. And it's not just us saying that, it's a proven fact in science. It raises your dopamine levels. It's the good feelings. It's it's not just getting out and about. It's on a chemical level, your mitochondria and everything. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Of course, it's the monetary thing as well. Sure. It's hard to ask people hey, would you give us $1,000 for the sponsorship, and we're going to put your name on this banner. But really, what are you getting in return, other than you're helping out society?
Right on.
So, I mean, the people that have sponsored us, it's amazing. They're like, once you start doing this, like from the get, it's really hard. But then if you keep at it and you keep growing and you meet people, you surround yourself with these amazing people and they motivate you even on your darkest day. Like these people are like, you know, like Caleb, I could reach out to him and be like, hey man, I'm having a bad day. You know, this is, you know, it's really hard. I work in the mine. I have to work with security, but I still want to like make like a meaningful difference. Yes. And, you know, it's having those people to rely on that really helps out. But I'm saying like for like the corporate sponsorships we have now is like Crazy Horse Coffee, RIP, RTZ Homes, like they're like amazing people. And like we'd really, I mean, if Google would come down and be like, hey, we'll give you $50,000, like that would be awesome. Okay. But it's really the small time businesses that are actually hurting now, that are struggling, that are the ones that are like, hey, I'm sorry, it's $250. That's all we have, but this is what we're giving you. And that's like monumental. But where you have like big time corporations, you know, it just gets like kind of like swept on the wayside. It's always like the small town people, the underdogs that like help you out until you like make it, and then you get a little bit bigger. But
right.
But it's
I'm certainly going to call out some of my small business friends that listen to this, and I promise you that West Penn Life and Health, we're going to write you guys a check. And I would challenge anybody listening to what these gentlemen are doing to check them out. I already love what they do. My son-in-law. Wow. You know, when you talk about PTSD, they say Marines never retire, so I'm not going to call him a retired Marine, but I see what he struggles with coming back to and integrating into civilian life. And he's a hell of a human being, but it is not easy what our veterans are going through. And so I can't salute you guys enough for your mission. And I promise you, you know, we'll talk afterwards, and I'm going to help you. But I want to challenge my friends in business. Man, wow. You know, there's only so much stuff you can have. There's only so many cars you can drive, you know, and I like all the stuff and I like to do the things, but there's nothing like finding a worthwhile mission and saying, I want to get involved in that. And I want to challenge you guys to check these guys out. We're going to talk a little bit about the event coming up, but if you run a small business and you can afford $250 or $500 or $1,000 or $2,500. I would highly recommend that you guys check these fine gentlemen out, learn about their organization and support them. Now let's talk as we bring this to a close. We just got a few minutes, but I want to zero in on the breakfast with Santa. What is going to go on? This is going to be at the Washington County Airport, right? This is December the 12th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And what's happening? Like, what's going to go down? How much fun is it going to be? Can anybody come? I mean, give me all the details, and then we're going to land the plane.
Okay. So we're going to start everything off. Like the whole hangar is going to be decorated. You know, we're going to be serving food. There will be photos with Santa, and then hopefully presents. That's depending on the donations. But Santa is going to be arriving in a helicopter. So Skyward Aviation has donated Hangar 3, which is a massive hangar, which they keep like multiple jets in. And like years prior, we've had everything set up in Greene County Airport in one hangar. That's where everybody ate. And then everybody would have to go down Hangar Road to another hangar and get their photos taken with Santa. But this year, everything's in one spot. It's so much more convenient, and we owe that all to Skyward Aviation, Ron Carrata, his daughter Brianna, and Amanda Dickey. So Ron will actually be flying Santa in on a helicopter. He'll be escorted with elves wearing bulletproof vests, because RIP security. Right on. And he'll be escorted in. We'll eat breakfast with all the kids, and then we'll start taking the photos, which I forget Aubrey's last name, but she's donated her time. So she'll be printing out photos or putting them on a little card drive. And after that, the kids can pick up the present, and it's just going to be a great time. I'll be dressed up as the Grinch, and
Perfect.
My wife is she's a CFII, so she's actually a flight instructor, and my son, they'll be the Grinch and Grinchette, and I don't know what Caleb's going to be, but it's going to be something awesome.
That's awesome.
So it's just going to be an amazing time. And yes, anybody is welcome.
Let me ask you: are you guys getting any? Do you have any radio promotion? How can people learn about this? Is anybody talking about this? Are you featuring this on any local stations like WJPA or anything like that?
No, not yet. I mean, if you have the connections, that'd be awesome.
It's essentially
I have the connections.
Yeah. We actually
we're gonna make that happen.
Promotion.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Hey, guys, I'm running out of time. I want to thank you, Mike Gulley, and I want to thank you, Caleb Kolb. Breakfast with Santa, December 12th, and small business owners. Again, Caleb, what's the name of the nonprofit that we can support? Give it to me one more time.
Yeah, we are Adventures in Training with a Purpose. It's www.adventurestraining.org. So
adventurestraining.org. Adventures in Training with a Purpose. Is that it?
Yeah, we call it ATP for short. Yeah.
ATP for sure. Hey, you guys are awesome, man. You made my day. I was kind of tired. We've already done one podcast, and I was like, breakfast with Santa. And I said to Brad, I said, well, I'm going to do it because I need to be in good graces with the North Pole, especially with the holidays coming. I don't want any coal in the stocking. But I'll tell you what, you guys made my day. I salute both of you. Thank you for what you're doing. I believe it's going to be a great success, and really appreciate both of you coming on. My name's Tom Yakupin. This is the Tom Yakupin Podcast, and these people right here, Mike and Caleb, are what make America great. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.